We're recording, silly. Welcome to the Good Edit.
Happy 2026, everybody.
Happy 2026.
I blame Elle for this, okay? Because what a way to ring in the new year. I will never say what she said, but cheers to you, because that might become my new New Year's resolution.
How's it going? How's it going?
Because I know.
Audience,
Wonderful.
have you ever, I wonder if the audience ever had that friend where you just like look at each other, you just start belly rolling I
It's
literally
the
feel like
best.
I've been working out. My abs hurt so bad from laughing. But I don't know what we're even laughing about.
Well, it's the best. But let me start with a compliment, because for you, your hair is everything right now. So I know I've complimented on it, but I'm like this. I'm like, I think we're like
Okay.
twinsies right now.
That's what I was going for. I was going for symmetry. How are you? I've missed you. The fans missed you. All two of our fans miss you. How are you doing?
No, good. I got back from Pennsylvania. I spent the holidays. First
Wait,
holidays.
pause for a second. Rick, what is this red? There's like this red bolt of light right now on the screen. Do you see it? Do you see it, Chris?
No.
Oh, it's the mic. Okay, that's okay. I'll edit all that out. Keep going. I can edit all that out.
So my holiday was amazing. I had the opportunity to go to Pennsylvania to visit my sister, who's absolutely my best friend, my brother-in-law, my two nephews. In under 30 seconds, we were spoiled from the moment I got off the plane. It was matching pajamas. It was food was laid out. My schedule was laid out.
Pajamas. It's so weird. But go ahead.
It was, I got a day to go to Pittsburgh Penguins hockey game with my nephews. My sister planned that. I had ample time with my mom. I got to go to my dad's grave and have a drink with him, which was really cool. It really was. And I'm coming back into 2026 with a larger piece of serenity and true understanding of family, friendship, and fun. And that's really what I want everybody to have in 2026. Tell me about you.
You know what? It was a different Christmas. This was the second one without my dad. And honestly, it was really nice because my son, he just moved in with his beautiful girlfriend, Ashley. Hi, Miles and Ashley. And their lovely, sexy little pre-war apartment in West Hollywood. So sexy, right off the strip. And it was so sweet just to see him celebrate, to host us, to host myself, my husband and his two girls, and who else was there? There's a lot of people. There was a lot of people there. But you know what the cutest thing was? You know what it was for me? It was the Charlie Brown Christmas tree and the pizza. They had pizza.
Wait, well, really quick. What kind of pizza? Was it thin? Was it Detroit style?
I
What?
don't know, because I had catered in smoked turkey and the best macaroni and cheese in the world. If anybody needs to get in on some smoked turkey and macaroni and cheese, message me. I will definitely hook you up with one of the best caterers. A friend of mine, her mother's caters, and this turkey and macaroni and cheese is outstanding. It's like you want to eat the whole thing. So I bought that in for a little diversity, but it was just really super sweet. And let me tell you the best Christmas gift that I got.
I'm ready. Are you going to show? No, I am jealous. Elle, stop it.
Wait,
Stop it.
let me just tell you this little story, because I've been waiting to tell you this story for a minute. I gotta give it up to Megan and Claire, my husband's beautiful, beautiful daughters, who, you never know who's listening and you never know who's watching, right? We're just kind of doing this thing. we're just being Chris and Elle like we do. We don't know who's listening. We're just kind of, but apparently they've been listening and got this for me, right? But wait for it. So then I open up my son's Christmas present.
What?
And I,
Hell.
but wait, there's more.
What?
Wait, there's more. I'm not done. I'm not done.
Yes! We're a pen?
We
Yes!
have, I'm not gonna, I didn't want to send this to you until I wanted to get your on-screen reaction to this. I actually rocked this today at Bloomingdale's today, this morning. But anyways, isn't that funny that they did not do this together? This one is Miles and Ashley. Wait, did the
I
girls just
love
give me a
them
cup and
so
a
much.
hat? I think, okay, I think Rick's girls got me, Claire and Megan got me the cup and the hat, and Miles and Ashley got us the
Okay,
pen,
well,
rather.
wait, stay right there because I have a dad joke for you. But leave
Am I
everything
saying why
there.
you're posing like this?
What's the biggest pen in the world?
I don't know.
Pennsylvania. So my home state. You're welcome. So yes.
Okay. Well, there you have it. So I have a pin for you. I have a mug for you, and I have a hat for you when I see you
Yes.
when we do our couch time and we get into um all of the Bravo and the documentary and the Mary
Oh,
aspect of it all. I don't want to get too much into the Mary thing, but because I don't want, but yeah, I'm definitely going to hook you up. Isn't that the sweetest though?
okay. First of all, tell your family thank you. So many thank yous for that gift. That was so wonderful, so beautiful. And my love language is not gifts, but I will tell you what, that right there, gifts might now be my love language.
Gifts
So
used to
thank
be
you.
my love language, but now my love language is just grace and gratitude and appreciation,
Right.
and just happy to be here. Um, I was so thrilled I was so thrilled that they all had the same idea. They did not talk about it. They, but I'm open up gift after it's good at it, they're good at it.
You're like,
So
yes,
they are big fans of the show. So now we have a total of 5, and
there's more. There's more.
and they love what we're doing, and I love that they love it. So I could not wait to share that with you. Woo! Okay, so now I can drink from my cup yeah, so there's 2, yeah. So I wish you had one.
Well, mine just says sexy Chris. But
That
but
tracks. That's a good edit. That tracks. So, any New Year's resolutions for you?
two. Okay, two. Because I think I you don't I think it's difficult if you want to do too many. I think it loses its value. So I think you really got to hone in at maybe 3 and under. Some people just do one. I thought of two when I was back home in Pennsylvania. And number one, I call it 1A and 1B because I'm a twin. So there you go. 1A, Mel Robbins, really, her book, The Let Them Theory,
Mm.
really is a book that has changed my life over the past year. And I used a lot of the tools from the book while I was visiting family. And for those of you that had maybe a little bit of a rough holiday, or just like I didn't have a rough holiday at all, but I'm just saying in terms of people, use it on your family. You can't change people. And when you can't change your kids, you can't change this. So when you kind of just sit back and go, what am I giving them, quote, power over? So the ending part of that first resolution was letting other people be them, letting me be me in terms of how I'm going to react to it. And I think that's the most important part that you can do.
Oh,
So my second resolution is I use this with teachers when I train them, that no is not a cuss word. And I really think as human beings, there are a lot of people out there that are people pleasers, and I am one of those people.
Mhm.
However, saying no to someone doesn't mean that you don't want to. It more at a deeper level probably means you just can't. And I never want to be able to say or do something for someone if I'm not fully in 100%. So saying no isn't a rejection towards someone else, it's a fulfillment to what I can give to that other person. And I never want to be able to give what I can't back up. So I think those would be my two resolutions. So more
Yeah,
importantly, how about you?
I have no resolutions this year. Yep, none.
Not
None. I mean, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and to your point, I've been on this no journey for a minute, and I love it. I think, first of all, in terms of resolutions, this is the year where I'm just falling into life, and I'm taking it as it comes, you know, but at the same time, creating definite boundaries in my life, getting surgical with who belongs in it and who doesn't, and being very, very liberally cutting things and people out of it that don't fit for me anymore, and I'm okay with that. To your point about no, no, actually protects not only yourself, but it protects that person too, right? And the more that you say no to yourself, to others, you're saying yes to yourself in other ways, and you're economizing your energy, your time, your expectation, all of those things, and you're kinda saving that person too. So I'm in love with the word no. I think the word "no" is the word "no" in all languages, isn't it? Or are there different versions of the word "no"? I don't
I
know.
mean, I hope so. I hope it's like it's math where it's the same in
Yeah.
every language. And I just,
Yeah. I say
professionally,
yeah,
I need to say no more because
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm learning that I'm not as valued as much as I thought I would be. And I never thought I would ever say that out loud, but I'm going to say it to you and
When
to everybody listening.
when you say no to the superfluous, you actually say yes to a better quality of life. So that's where I start with the no, and I applaud you for that. Yeah, no resolutions, just jumping into life. No expectation,
100%.
other than to live more healthy, and that also starts with no.
Well, it starts with no, because when we think about all the stuff that we take the time out of our day for, right? The things that bring us joy, that's time taken away from us. And so many times people go, well, in a job, you're being paid for a service. Yeah, you're being paid for a service, but all the extras that you do, I'm watching people that do not nearly as much get these huge raises
Mm,
and more is being put on. And
yeah.
I've learned to just go, now that I'm in my mid 40s. Yes, I know I don't look it, but uh more of just I'm not going to say yes for the sake of saying yes anymore. I think I know my worth. And I hope that everybody out there in 2026, I hope it's the year for everybody.
Yes.
Find your worth, speak it, say it, know it, and surround yourself with people like you that make you feel it. Because I'll tell you what, one of the biggest gifts I got out of 2025, and I mentioned this during my end of 2025 Instagram post, was you, and how this would not all be possible without you and your belief in me and our connection and what we really believe in. Because it's just what an honor to be in your presence.
It's an honor to be in your presence, and when you weren't here, I felt like my other arm was cut off, so I'm so glad you're back. Um, I I adore you, and I adore our courageous conversations, and speaking of courage, while you were gone, it did give me time to
Yes.
reflect on on the courage it takes to stray from the norm, right? This podcast is not of the norm. It's not anything that anybody else is doing. This is kind of our own. We're kind of paving our own way. And in many ways, endorsing this idea of unpopular opinions. And it takes a lot of
Sure.
courage, as you know, to have an unpopular opinion um, against a collective fan base as it relates to Erica, that's decided to be the judge and jury and to condemn someone without having all of the true facts or considering context. And so it got me thinking about, as I was, looking at different blogs and Reddit, of course, and different subreddits on reality TV because I'd like to just to kinda get some instruction on what fans are thinking. They Fans have a real disdain against gang up culture, okay? They fought against gang up culture that we saw in the OC with Katie Janela. There was gang up culture happening with Meredith, but I don't think that they understand that they too promote gang up culture in terms of not supporting other fans that might have opinions that are different from their opinions, that are quite the opposite of their opinions. And you see that on Reddit. And so I came across this Reddit post. I sent it to you. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it because you were doing your thing. But every time I come across something exciting, I want to share it with Chris. Um,
So,
I was really impressed with the courage of this poster on Reddit, and her name is oh, Misha Michiganese.
okay.
Her tagline is, "Imma take you out and pull some Oklahoma on your ass," which is a throwback to Taylor Armstrong in season 1 when she was talking to Camille.
Okay.
But here's her post. She says, "I often see in this sub" the name of the post is "Sick of people who are apologizing for who they like." And she says, "I often see in this sub, I know this is controversial, but I like XYZ cast member," or "This is an unpopular opinion, but I love blank cast member." She says, "No one should be ashamed of who they like. None of them have killed anyone. It's not that serious. Just own it and say who you like without prefacing it." So this actually sparked this debate or this discussion about fans. It actually gave This post actually gave a certain cohort of fans an opportunity to just kind of exhale and be like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. This is a safe space. I can finally say who I really like without any judgment." And you know who they were really leaning into? Erica.
So,
Erica. Erica's all over this post. And so I'm going to read you a couple that
please.
kind of was like, wow, okay, this is kind of amazing. So someone, first of all, says, someone who finally, this is from Bubbly Pie 4980, someone who finally said what I've always thought. This is a forum for people to express their opinions. It's not serious. It's pop culture. If you don't agree with someone, please comment politely. It's not fun when people are being bullied or made fun of just because of an opinion. Uh, Shum says, "I love Eric and Renna. I feel like I can never say that here because the hate for them is so strong. With Erica, I really just don't think she knew whose money she was spending, and I don't believe in blaming a woman for her husband's actions, but this doesn't ever feel like a safe space to talk about her, so I never have. I really like this Reddit community, but it can also be so vicious." And somebody else, Realistic Way 5078 says the same thing, endorses Erica. Um, and the fact that people downvote other people's opinion is an illustration of how no one is allowed to have an opinion that differs. It has to all be a collective takedown. So this gang up culture that we see that's starting to emerge in reality TV, we're actually seeing it in how fans discourse with each other about other fans and other opinions. And no, it's almost like you must believe Erica's a piece of shit, and if you don't, I'm going to downvote you. You must believe Rena's a piece of shit, and if you don't, I'm going to downvote you. You must believe, like it's like.
But
And
think about this.
how
We do the same
weird.
thing. We do the
Huh?
same thing, but we do the same thing in so many other aspects of our lives. This is
Talk about
supposed
it.
to be, well, we're talking about reality TV and it's supposed to be lighthearted and fun. And we always say, when you're around family or friends, never talk about what? Politics, right? It's the same exact thing. If someone believes something different from you politically, you can never hang out with them because they feel something different. And now in reality TV, now we're getting to this notion of, if you only hang out with or with people that have the same viewpoints that you do, that quantity of people doesn't make you more powerful. As a matter of fact, I think it does the exact opposite. I want to
Absolutely.
be challenged by people. I want to be able to have a respectful conversation with people and go, let me learn from you. Let me learn from what you're saying, what you believe. Talk to me about the facts that you've heard, what you know. Tell me about your opinions, and let's have that dialogue. Because if we all felt the exact same way, how boring would life be?
So boring. And wonder, I mean, I know we need to get into the show, but what
Sure.
is also interesting to me that and this particular post goes into it. In fact, I will actually include it in the description because I think it's really informative to read. But a lot of them were supporting her and supporting her journey through the whole Tom Girardi of it all. They really talked a lot about her inability to show empathy because of the litigiousness of the Girardi Keys case and so on and so forth with that. And I got to thinking, and I researched it. It's not that Erika never showed empathy. She just never showed empathy the way the audience wanted to see it, because she showed empathy and made empathetic comments at least 12 times. 12 times, and I can give you the timestamps and when she said something empathetic about the victims. 12 different times. That's not even counting the empathetic statements that she made on Bedded on Blonde, which is, her documentary um, chronicles her journey of her residency in Vegas. But 12 different times she made an empathetic statement that was also sandwiched against the legal context that she's dealing with. She said as much as she could say. Now, I don't know if we're watching the same show, because I do remember this. Like, she showed empathy. So how are they not?
Oops.
I guess she's
Honey,
not showing it the way that they wanted to see. What is that supposed
honey,
to look like?
honey, are you wearing earrings right now?
No.
Okay, if you were wearing earrings, it'd be perfect because the whole reason why people are having the
Yeah.
opinions they are right now is because she did not return a thing. Isn't it funny that this entire thing is about a
The earring.
gift?
Well,
A
it's about
gift.
the
That's
earrings.
where it
It's
is.
about the
Because
victim
if she would have given those earrings back, the narrative would have changed completely. And it's funny that
and
it
her
goes
reality
down
would change
to a
completely
gift.
too.
It goes down to a gift.
Um, Actually, somebody actually talked about that. Here it goes. She
I'm
said,
ready.
this is Jim again. She says, so like using the earrings as an example, I feel like if she caved on that, people would
Mhm.
take that as admission of guilt. Not only that, but it opens
Mhm.
the door for the legal system to take absolute everything she owns. I feel like her property is her property. I'm not, and not a part of Tom's estate, backed by the fact that she won back the earrings on appeal.
I will say this once and never ever say it again. Unless you are in a lawsuit, I have been in one. Unless you're in one, there is so much that you can't say.
Exactly.
So, everybody behind a keyboard right now thinking that it's that simple, it shows how ignorant and naive you are because there is so much that you can't do, can't say to other people.
Yeah.
So go ahead and have those
Have your
opinions.
moment.
But until you understand the law and you understand what's expected of you behind the scenes, yeah. Oh, well, she's on a reality TV show. No, one has absolutely nothing to do with the other because if her being in a lawsuit was going to cost her the ability to be on a show, like let's really think about this for a minute. They are two separate entities. And the fact that people think it's just black and white, it's not. This whole situation was gray, but what do we tend to do as human beings? The minute someone wants to convict, the minute we want to view someone as a victim because of finances or this or that, we just go automatically, this person's in the wrong and they're in the right. No, no, no. Just because someone has more money does not mean that they're more powerful than the person who doesn't, and vice versa, because of this or because of that. Let the legal system play out
Yeah.
as it should because that's the whole purpose of living in the United States. Now, do we get it wrong sometimes? 100%. However, we have to let it unfold. And I think when people are entitled to their opinions to go behind their keyboards, I wish people would just take a deep breath before they assume.
Well, I think as humans, part of the human tendency is especially is to, um, let me back up. I don't know if fans really, and we're gonna definitely dedicate a show to this because I think it's so much needs to be talked about in terms of the relationship between fans and the characters And again, it goes back to that parasocial relationship that I feel some sort of connection to this person or to the storyline, and therefore I'm going to exert my opinions. But not only do I feel a connection towards this character, because I feel that connection, I expect you to act within the parameters of my expectations. And when you don't, then I'm going to, you know, I'm 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 going to, like, lean in with the judgment. And I think that that's what we see. This is not, and I'm sure some people are listening thinking like, oh, they just love Erika. Well, no, I don't know Erika to love her. Like, but what I do respect, what I do love is I respect understanding somebody's story, and I respect understanding context, and I will do all I can to understand who that is and who they are, what their circumstances are, and what is the why. And through that, I mean, I don't know her personally. I just know what she's allowed us to see. I know, and we're stringing it together, and we're reading, we're looking at her documentary, we're doing all this research to try to string her story together in a way that contextually makes sense, that's very humanistic. And I wonder if more people did that just honestly in their day-to-day lives, the world would be in like 10 times a better place than it is now. Maybe even
And
50 times.
really think about this. Behind the scenes, I am not a public figure, right? There were things that I wanted to tell my best friends, even my family members, that I couldn't. So you are isolated. You
Mhm,
are alone.
mhm.
And then you allow,
Right.
once the gossip comes out, for other people to make all of these and your
Segments.
accusations. And you're just sitting there going, I want to say something. Well, why can't you say something? Because I can't. The legal system, as beautiful as it is, because you're innocent until proven guilty, there's a lot that you can't say because anything that you say can be interpreted this and that. So you're almost better off keeping your mouth shut
1,000%. And
until
that
we get to that point.
and that's the point of the post. I don't say what I really feel about these controversial characters because I'm going to get downvoted or I'm going to get ganged up on, and at some point that's going to stop. And I think that that's the mission of what you and I are trying to, that's the mission that we try to do in our own lives, period, without this show and this microphone, is to try to
To
humanize
have the good at it.
experience and yeah, and bring good energy and good vibes. And some days we do it well and some days we don't. And there's sometimes that we can be shady. Like, I'm not gonna even lie. But far and few in between. I hope that this is an effort that we can help viewers just think about what they're watching a little bit differently. So with that, let's get into it. Can you take us through the journey of where we've been on the curious case of Erika Jayne and what we're about to dial into?
Well, right now, I mean, we've talked about her life pre before she's met anybody, right? How she kind of grew up in the deep South and how her mom showed love and how she really had to grow up ahead of her time because not everybody gets, we all have experiences where it doesn't matter if you come from a nuclear family, you come from a family where your grandmother raises your grandfather, your uncle, whatever, right? I think it comes down to how you feel and how you accept love, right? And I think that is a very difficult thing for people to talk about when they're young. I think it's something that you only understand when you get older. So now, as we're about to dive into Erika Jayne, as she's about as a teenager, as she's about to experience love outside of her family for the first time, what that's like, because you got to remember, if you think that your own small town, the people that you've known your entire life are the only people that you'll ever know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think you're also limited to maybe what you can accomplish. I think there's a certain beauty of spreading your wings a little bit, getting a little bit more independence, meeting different people that have a different walk of life, a different viewpoint. And I think we're about to understand that. But if you're our our brains aren't really fully developed into their 20s. So as people get married in their teens,
Yeah.
early 20s, not against it,
No.
but I'm cautious of it because I don't think we fully understand who we are as human beings
Mhm.
in our teens and early 20s. And I think that's what Erica went through. How about you?
Well, I think what we could, kind of put together is, given those formative years that she experienced in terms of the abandonment of father figures, with the exception of Hollis, and really kind of her stepfather de facto kind of about abandoned her. Watching her mother, navigate through these difficult relationships, she kind of probably walked away, I'm assuming, with this kind of understanding of what she didn't want to happen, in life, and what kind of relationship she did want to have, going forward, as she, moved into adulthood. And so we're going to talk about those two. So we talked about those four father figures. And so now we're going to get into the two husbands that she had. And just fun fact.
Oh, can I say it?
Yeah.
Uh, I'm on my second marriage. I would never marry someone that had the same name as my or spouse, whatever. I can't do it. How about you?
It don't matter to me. I don't care. I
I'm
literally don't
like,
care. And
nope,
clearly she didn't either, because both of
nope.
her husbands' names were Tom.
We'll call him Lil Tom and Big Tom. How about that? So,
Right. Well, you know what? I honestly, I got to be honest with you. Researching Tom 1.0, I have a lot of respect for Tom 1.0, and I have a lot of respect for the fact that, get this, they're still friends to this day.
tell me
Um,
about Tom 1.0.
so Tom 1.0. One thing that I want to lead with is that Renee and her grandparents did something right. They taught her somewhere in her journey, I'm sure, that intelligence, confidence, and drive matters over physical appearance. And that is what she has always been attracted to. And so she definitely has, it seems that she definitely has an appreciation for male energy and the chemistry of all that. But really, what really draws her are men who are smart, that are assertive, that are successful, and that treat her well. And I think most women want that alpha energy. you know, we want a guy that's crushing,
And
and so
some
that's
and some guys too.
respectively. So those are kind of the traits that really matter to her. So she talks about, before the two Toms, she talks about her first series boyfriend. His name was Jonathan. They met in high school in their musical theater department. And the one thing that stood out to her is that, you know, first of all, she names, it doesn't matter. She doesn't have a physical type. Doesn't matter if he's short, tall, blonde, brunette. It just matters the kind of, aggressive, assertive energy that they have. And so, um, apparently Jonathan was her first love. She talks about this as the one that she lost her virginity to.
It
And
was
he was,
pure.
huh?
It was pure.
It was pure and it was lovely. So then, fast forward, and under the understanding, intelligent, aggressive, success matter. Okay. That is what makes men beautiful. But she also has a predilection for Italians. So Tommy 1.0 is Italian. She noticed him and I love this description about how she talks about how she was in a club. And I can just kind of picture it almost like a movie, with the, like another, not for us, it would have been the Roxbury. I don't know what the club was back.
Could he go like
Oh,
this?
it was the China Club, I think she referenced. But anyway, so she's at a club and they're kind of drawn together because of their shared interest in music. She was doing music at the time. She was in a couple of girl groups and he was doing music. And they exchanged numbers. She was 19, he was 26. And she liked him again because he was intelligent, he was respectful, and he came from a good family and really respected his mother. Yeah, I kinda love how the innocence of that meeting. And so,
But isn't it funny that it's one of the few ages in life where a 7-year age gap is almost like times two? Do you know what I mean? Like if a 39-year-old was with a 32-year-old, we wouldn't really think anything of it. But a 26-year-old with a 19-year-old, and then we just suddenly think, because developmentally, that short span of time is magnified in certain positions in our life chronologically. And I really think that's what happens because when you're 19, you're just out of high school, you're starting college at 26, you've done all of those things, right? 25, 26, and now you're going, okay, I'm at this point in my life, I'm starting off my career. So for a lot of people, we see a lot of couples out there in our country right now where you're around the same age, right? We're groomed almost for that. But if someone goes outside of that, it's this risk factor. And it's not necessarily a risk factor. It's let me get time to know this person. Does this person allow me to be 26? Does this person allow me to be 19?
When you
And yeah,
when you read about their relationship in the book, it was really sweet. I
I lo-
he took her on lovely proper dates, you know, and it sounds like she fell in love. They moved in together within 6 months of dating on the Upper East Side, on the Upper West Side, 109th Street in Amsterdam to be exact.
that's
And um and can you imagine this? Imagine this. Pause and consider that you move in with your now love of your life within 6 months of dating, and oops, now you're also pregnant and have the opportunity and the challenge of co-parenting with the DJ that you met in the club 6 months ago. So as soon as they met, 6 months later, they're moving in together, and now they're having a baby. Can you imagine?
I mean, no, because at 19, I don't even know how you are still at that age able to take care of yourself. Very few people can. So now you're expected, unless you have a family or somebody else that can financially support you. I'm not a big fan of 19-year-olds getting married and having kids because, like, you've got to be
Yeah,
able to
but you know
take care of yourself. I'm not against it. I'm just going, unless you have the dynamics and the background for people to help you, I don't know if it's setting you up for success.
well, that could actually be debated because, and I don't want to go too far off of
Yeah.
track here, but I've known uh, individuals who've had babies very young, and it's
Sure.
the best things for them, and they've been great mothers, and it happened, and
Right.
it evolved them, and it sounds like in this case, it evolved Erica. She had a decision to make. Uh, Her mother was against it. She was not a fan of it. She
Right.
said, had immediately told Erica it wasn't going to work out well for her life. Her life was going to change forever. And that was based upon what happened to Renee. But somehow Erica made it work. And Tommy made it work. And they were committed to having this child so much insofar as that he decided to marry her. And she talks about this grand wedding that she had at St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan. And this was in December of 1991. And so they're doing the right thing. She wants to do the right thing. She wants to give this child the stability and the consistency, more possibly that she didn't have, growing up in her life. But then, of course, to your point, kids can't always be planned, but when they're here, it can either drive your relationship upward or it can cause marital
That
tension if you're not prepared. And I think that that's what you were speaking to. Um,
100%.
Yeah, and so she talks about how, things were strained between her and Tommy. She somehow he was strained with trying to, provide for his new wife and this child. She was not happy. I think, believe she cited that she had more anxiety going on at that time, possibly postpartum. And she ended up falling into these bad habits, or leaning into the bad habits that she developed growing up on how to treat people, which wasn't very nice. And even it vulnerably admits that, I think I might have done that because I wanted to get his attention. I would pick fights to get attention because she knew no other way to communicate. Gee, I really want to be a mother. I really want to be a wife, but this stuff is hard and I'm really frustrated.
And that's what teenagers do.
And
Like, I
I'm
think that's the whole
assuming that she's
point,
20 by this point, by the way.
right? But
She's 20 by this point.
1920, it's such a sliver, right?
Right.
I think at that point, you're still trying to figure things out. So I'm not preaching to the choir here going, don't ever have kids. Like, I'm not saying any of that stuff.
No,
I'm
well,
saying, I'm saying until you really know who you are, bringing somebody else into the world, it's not that you can't do it. I think it's such this huge gamble of, I want people to fully discover who they are and what they know what they want with their life. Because when you bring somebody else in, a lot of times what you want and what you need is put on the back burner because of the new person that you just brought in. So if you're going to decide to get married young, or if that's something that is in your path, I think a lot of it has to come down to you realize once you have kids that they become your full focus.
Oh,
And they
absolutely.
100% do. And whatever stage you are in life, you have to be okay with knowing that. And sometimes when you get married at such a young age, if you don't have the financial backing or the family backing, it can be a little bit more of a challenge. So for someone like Erika Jayne, who didn't necessarily have that, for that to happen and for her to be able to do what she did and to be as mature as she was. You want to talk about a good edit? I mean, I know what it's like to grow up with two parents that barely even talk to each other and they got married in their 30s. So the fact that 26 and 19 they get married, they have a kid and they're able to put the kid first, that's an amazing thing to do.
Absolutely.
And not everybody has that. And I want to make sure that that gets put out there that it's wonderful, but you really do have to put the kids first.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna get back to Erica, but I can totally relate to that because as
Yeah.
soon as I married his father, I was pregnant like 6 months, like soon, like soon.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh.
we love you, Erica.
I had to sorry? Sorry?
I love you, Erica, is what I was
Yeah,
saying.
and so I had to immediately, like, transition at 25, 26. I was, to, like, out there doing the LA thing, rah, 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 to oh, wow, I'm a mother now. Let me get serious. And I've been serious ever since. My whole world, my diet, everything was organized around this child, hiking up in Palos Verdes 2, 3 miles a day, you know, eating at Trader Joe's, eating all the healthy foods, it's putting music on my stomach to make sure that his IQ points like threshold in the right way. And it worked, obviously. Like everything was centered around my child. But, I did have family support, financial backing, things like that are really important in these modern times. In less than modern times, people mothers or yeah, mothers at the time had kids at ages younger than 19 because there were not so many demands to do self-actualization. That was not the priority. The priority was survival. So, it's kind of different. But I really relate to what you're saying about when you have a child, you got to put that child first. You got to be responsible with it. And it sounds like that's what she did. I mean, and
That's
she talks a lot about that even through the separation. I mean, she took accountability for the fact that the marriage had ended. She names that she feels like the marriage came apart because of herself, not because of anyone else. She knew she was
and
a
by coastal, L, by coastal.
what do you mean?
Huge.
Elaborate.
Bi-coastal, one in New York, one in LA. Like, she's like, "My life is out in LA. I know that things are gonna happen for me in LA." So to go from New York back to LA at such a young age and to go back and forth, and go, "I know there's a better life for you out here. I know there's something more for you and for us and for our family." And by the way, she wasn't, I don't think, just necessarily saying about herself and her son, but also her first husband and going, look, you know, as a culmination, I think this is what is best for all of us. And you know what? When I talk about a strong, independent woman, Erica is, I think right there, it shows it.
Yeah, and I want to just take the audience through the chronology, just catch them up a little bit because they do, Tommy and Tommy 1.0 and herself realize that, okay, this is not working. The marriage is not working. I take ownership that of my part, but uh, she left him when he was 18 months old. Okay. And at least she had a clean break. Whereas in her when she grew up at 9 months old, her father just left. There was no clean break. There was a clean break. And that child, Tommy, the real Tommy 2.0, which is her son, that's her son's name, Thomas, knew who his father was, knew who his mother was, and there was no that was not there's no ambiguity with that. But after she leaves, she moves in with Renee again, and she could only stay with Renee so long and determine, I've got to break out. I've got to strike it out on my own. I've got to not only just be a mother, but I've got to pursue my original dream of being a performer, to breaking it into the industry. And so she, to your point about the bicoastal experience, she left her son with Tommy in New York while she moved to LA temporarily to continue to pursue her dreams and making it in the industry. But she was so responsible about co-parenting that she would fly back between LA and New York to make sure that Thomas, her son, never was with too long or too far gone along, too far away from his mom, for too long a period of time.
How beautiful.
Amazing.
Like a beautiful, selfless, and I think at the same time understanding the role that was bestowed upon all of them based off of their life. And for me, I think the most beautiful thing more than anything was there's something out there bigger for us. It's my responsibility to go out there and figure out what it is. And I think she did that. Now, if I think of a good edit for anybody, I think it's looking inside and going, what's not only best for me, but what's best for the people that I love. And I think she did that at such a young age.
Absolutely. And she talks about, I love this quote. She says she frequently traveled back and forth from New York to LA. I would never be gone for far too long. I was working to establish myself on the West Coast. Putting my son first was what moving was all about. Now, some people might have a problem with that, but I get it. She had to do this first and know that if she was going to take care of him and provide a future for him that she wanted, she knew that she had to get away to find a better life for herself so that she could make a sustainable existence for herself on her own terms.
She
And
knew
so,
her talents and her work.
yes, yes, yeah, yeah. So, once she lands in LA, she immediately knows that LA is the place that she wants to be. And it's really kind of interesting to hear her talk about the differences between trying to pursue a career in entertainment and in the industry in LA versus New York. Um, Totally different. She felt at home in LA. She felt at home and even landed a couple of, like, small parts on, I think it was, like, Law& and Order. She was in,
Wow.
she had a guest appearance on this show called High Incident with Blair Underwood. Yeah. You can't say Blair
Yes.
Underwood and not smile. Sorry, honey. You gotta
I
smile.
might be blushing too.
Huh?
I might be blushing a little bit.
I
Sorry.
remember, side note, I was in church. It was in church. Church will go nameless, and we saw him sitting, like, in front of us, like, a row and, holding his child. Oh, I know I was there for the Lord, but I was really there for Blair Underwood at that moment. I just gotta name that. So, anyway, back to the story at hand. So, anyway,
Wow. Wow. Okay.
so she lands a couple of roles, and then she ends up working at the Beverly Center in retail. She's working at the Century City Mall. She hates it. Can't blame her. And then she ends up getting scoring a
Cocktail
job.
waitressing.
Huh?
Cocktail waitressing.
Yes, cocktail waitressing at Chasen's. Did you ever go to Chasen's when I was here? Did you ever go?
Um, so I know of it.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about it. Yes.
Yeah. Um, and so then while working at Chasen, that's where she meets none other than who?
Tom 2.0.
Tom Girardi, a powerful and highly respected lawyer. He was a regular at the restaurant. He even had some investments at Chasen's. And so Chasen's was his place. Chasen's was the
Yep.
place that he thrived. And she knew of him. He knew of her. And that's where she met her future husband. And she did something and took a page out of Renee's book and went up to him and said, "What?
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So I'm probably gonna fumble this.
Don't
It's
fumble.
football season. So,
Football season.
but
It's
my
okay."
favorite part was if you're a traditionalist, if you want to go there, it's like, if a girl gives you their number, right? It's like, you call them back. Well, long story short, the secretary of Tom calls Erica back because he's interested for a date. And she actually goes, if he wants a date, he can call me
Love
himself. And
that.
you know what?
Love
He
that.
does. So I will tell you right then and there for anybody that goes, she's a gold digger, she's this, she's that, then you take the phone call from the secretary and you take whatever you can get. For you to go, I know my worth. I don't care what position I am in life. If you really want to date me, if you really want to know me, you call me. You want to talk about a power play move. And I'll tell you what, I like that.
And you know what? I love that move. That's a checkmate. That's a checkmate. Excuse my language, mom. That's a checkmate for you. I love it. I love it. She approached him the same way that she had already learned that relationships worked, through boundaries and
Yeah.
not pursuit. She understood the art of pursuit. You pursue me. I don't pursue you. And she probably saw him in Chasen's, not just talking to lawyers and hosting parties. She probably saw him bringing in, and I'm just assuming, I would need her to tap in and let us know if we got this right at some point, but she probably saw him interacting with different women at different times and kind of
Yep.
tracking like, okay, I see how you move. So by the time he made a move, she's like, no, 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 no. You call me, no, you call me personally. In fact, you know what? I had a situation like that. I had a situation very similar. I will not tell you who it was, but I was at a
Ah,
concert. I was at a concert, and this person, this celebrity, was just zeroed in on me, would not stop looking at me at this particular concert I was in, and sent his management over to ask me. And I'm like, and you know what I said? He can't speak for himself.
but that's what it is, because why would you want to be with
I was
someone who
20
can't?
I was 23, I was like 24.
Yes.
I
But doesn't that say something? If you can't speak for yourself, get out of here.
Right.
What, get out.
Well, my mom always taught me, she always said, never show your teeth to the first guy to the guys that the first guy that always smiles at you. In other words, like, keep your boundary, know your worth, and let them pursue. Don't pursue. And it seems like that Erica did that. She knew who she was. She had
Yes.
self-respect. This is what she was taught. And this was not the first man with money that she's dated. She recounts that she's dated men more wealthier than Tom. Like, Tom was probably, like, lowest on the totem pole in terms of wealth in comparison to the
Sure.
roster that she had going on that obviously is going nameless before Tom entered the picture. But what's super sweet is that after they got to know each other, I mean, he definitely took her out, and they were never apart after that first date.
And I think what's so beautiful when you get into that sort of relationship and they let you in into the deeper stuff from the get go
Mhm.
and they level the playing field. I think that is a move that could conquer anybody. Once you feel like that other person can see you for your age, for your position in life. And I think that's what happened with Erica and Tom. And you know what? If that's what she wanted, if that's what she was attracted to, who am I to look at her, to look at him and go, no, you need to date somebody closer to your age. I have no right to say that to someone.
Right,
That's your relationship. That's your business.
right.
You're allowing me to be a part of it. I'm hearing your story. But if you don't agree with it, that's not my problem. And I'm hoping with the book and with the transparency that she's brought forth in terms of her relationship, I hope people can understand that because it's not an easy thing to do is to let people into your personal life.
It is not. It takes a courageous thing. It takes a confident woman to lay it out there. Not a lot of people are able to do that. Um, Here's the thing, I there was a 33-year age difference, I think. Um, it's not the age as much as it's the life experience, you see. And so, yes, Erica was uh, she was quite a bit younger than him. I think it was 20,
20, she was in her 20s,
yeah,
right?
in her
Late
20s,
20s.
mid-20s, late 20s. Um, but her life experiences as early as 5 had matured her between booking her on auditions, watching mom Renee go through all kinds of turmoil with the men in her life, and being very much having a front row seat to all of the dramas, and even to her point, seeing things that she says a child should have never have seen or never have been a part, being part of conversations that should have never been a part of at that young age, matured her and raised her maturity quotient much higher than the average late 20-year-old. So really probably, like, when you consider life experience, she's probably really like 40 or 50 in age, given everything she's been through. Not to mention, we forgot this one important part that we're going to go into next week. The fact that she had to fight for relevancy on a stage, on a performer stage, to try to make it in this very tough business called Hollywood, totally amplifies and elevates your maturity quotient already including the fact that she admittedly says, "I was a stripper, and I stripped, and I worked all these different clubs, on the East Coast, and hated every part of it because of just because of things that she saw. She just hated every part of that. But that in itself adds another layer of maturity and grit that you have to have in order to survive, which adds to her maturity quotient. So doesn't matter to me that he was like 33, age 33 years older. 33 is her senior. 33 years. God, I can't say it. 33 years her senior. Doesn't even matter. Uh, they met each other on a common ground of social experience, and she talks a lot about some of the sweet things that they would do, like, going to the movies, doing the museum thing,
Golfing,
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 golfing, golfing is her,
things,
and she's an
right?
excellent golfer, by the way.
Those moments of privacy.
Mhm.
I don't care how much money you have. Those moments of privacy, which she talks about, where you're not talking about a court case, you're not talking about a production or a performance, and you just behind those walls in that home in Pasadena, when you're just going, we've created this together. Fine. Financially, you're paying for it, but you have also trusted me with putting it together. And you've trusted me with building this fortress for us in terms of what the walls will look like on the inside.
Yeah.
That's what a marriage is. I think it comes down to trust. And even
Yeah.
though there's an age gap, when that gets taken away because of illness or because whatever the reason is, whether you fall out of love, whatever it is, I don't even care what it is. It's traumatic. And when you're not in somebody else's relationship, it's really easy on the outside to look in and go from the cheap seats and go, well, this is what their relationship's all about and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're allowed to have your
From
opinion.
the cheap
But if
seat.
you're right,
I love it.
right? From the cheap seats.
I
But
love
here's the deal. If you're not one of the few that's in a club box seat or someone that they allow on the field or on the ice, whatever foyer there is, you can have your opinion. However, um, just remember that it doesn't hold much water and it doesn't because you don't know them. So it's easy to go, well, they're on this show and they've shown this or she's this age and he's that age. That's great. And I'm glad that you came up with that on your own. I'm like really so proud of you for that because that's
it.
so easy.
And this is where
Yeah,
we get into the shady part of Chris.
but I think that
No, but you're right.
if you want to have like deep, meaningful relationships with people, seek the why. And I think that's why you and I have talked about this from the get go in terms of the good edit. And really, from you, Elle, why we're doing what we're doing is you're able to look at things and people from a different lens. You actually challenge me. And when I look at Erika Jayne and I look at her life and I look at certain housewives, I have to go, well, do I feel that way about them because of the edit? Or am I really diving in deep to understand who they are? And a lot of people that are watching are going, this is mindless TV. I just want to know what the edit is. And I'm just going to
No,
go with these
yeah.
keyboards and say whatever.
And that's a whole different show that we're going to get into. I cannot wait to talk about fans. I cannot wait to get into it because it's something I'm super, super passionate about. I think with respects to Erica and Tom, I think the default is that when a younger woman marries a older man with means, then obviously she's a gold digger. And that's a very narrow perspective. You can't be married to somebody as long as she was just for the money. And there was a real, you get the feeling, and there's different levels and different definitions of love. Okay. We're just going to call it. There was love there. It seems to me from reading her book and all the copious notes that we have, that what drew Erica to Tom was not necessarily his money, it was really how he treated people. And at the time, there was a time where he treated people very well. He it was the fact that she respected his curiosity, his intelligence. He had a knack and a talent, and I can totally relate to this, of making her feel seen making her feel inspired, and intellectually alive. And he was not just a man with money, he was her mentor. She talks incessantly about how he taught her things about politics, about life, about finance. He encouraged her to be ambitious. He encouraged her to take on this persona of Erika Jayne. I mean, once they and she names, and I'm just going to read this. She says, I have a thirst for
Yes.
knowledge, and Tom has a wealth of it. He is a great mentor, a great teacher, somebody I really admire. He's adventurous. He loves to travel, loves to eat, and loves to have a good time. He is well read and educated. That kind of stuff is a powerful aphrodisiac. She says, the more I spent time alone, the stronger the bond between us got. He has an incredible twinkle in his eye and a power lust for life. I just fell in love with the man who talked to me about the futures and plans of my life.
That's
He
it.
spoke to me. It was like I was the only person in the room. I relate to that. Okay. And that is beautiful. He taught her that she could achieve anything. He taught her she could achieve anything. That is a beautiful, she trusted him. She loved him. Whatever
And
that love looks, whatever you name that love, there's like 10 different types of loves all in the Bible. She had love for him, and you can't take that away. And we can't just necessarily default. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure people probably think the same of me and my husband. Like, like looking at him,
no,
I don't care. Like there's real love there, you know. So I respect her for that. And I think that I think I
when someone brings you into their life,
appreciate it. Mhm.
how many people are married right now that they're in the same professional arena that their spouse is? It's very rare, to be honest with you. So you come home at the end of the day, Erica is with Tom. It's a rough day. It's very easy to go, I don't want to talk about it. Let's move on. What's for dinner? And blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about something else. But when you're married to someone and you're interested enough in what they're going through, and Erica talks about this in the book, she talks about like, Tom would talk to me about his his cases, what he could say.
Mhm.
He would teach her terminology. She would teach him things about what she wanted to do. And when you're at the end of the day, when you're exhausted in a marriage, in a relationship, and you're invested, as exhausted as you are from the day, about what each other is going through, and you educate each other on their hobbies, their interests, their profession, to me, that's the definition of love. I don't care how old you are. That
Mhm.
is the definition of love. And for
Just being
anybody
intimate
else
with
to think
someone.
otherwise, I'm going to say it. That's it's cruel and it's being naive because I really think that's what love is.
You know, the other and I love how she talked about one of the sweetest moments that they would have is coming they would, of course, do all these parties, and they were going
Yes.
to, um going on Capitol Hill, and she actually got to, interact with, high profile politicians and all of these things, but the most sweetest moment was not that. It was driving home in their, in their private car, listening to old, stories, like, the stories that they used to play back in the day on radio
Yes.
stories. I don't know what you call it, but dramas from, like, crime dramas. They would listen to crime dramas on the radio, kinda like what me and, my other half do. We listen to a lot of podcasts when we drive and we discuss those kinds of things. So they would have these intimate moments of just bonding by listening to these old stories on the radio, which is really kinda sweet and beautiful. And I think what Tom gave her is that if you think about the childhood that we've and our formative years that we've covered up until now, it was shaped by a lot of scarcity, by a lot of negativity. But Tom, that twinkle in his eye, also brought a worldview of abundance and optimism and success and the belief that goodness matters. She asked him why he went into law. He said, because I'm tired of people getting fucked over.
Right.
And and that
Because
and
we know, Elle, that never happens, right?
never happened,
Ever.
right?
Never. Never.
And this was his worldview until it wasn't. But at the time, and where we are now, just talking about her journey now, this is what drew her to him. He created space to see her. He created space for her to thrive. He stimulated her intellectually. She was never bored. Um, and his perspective came from this sense of optimism and abundance. and bringing light to the lives of the people that he represented until he didn't.
It's a sense of hope.
Yeah.
It's a sense of hope. It's a sense of understanding. How often do we say this in relationships, whether they're friendships or relationships? We just want to be heard. And I really think the most powerful thing that a person can do for you is listen.
Yeah.
And I really think
Not judge.
and not judge, which is why when we go on Reddit and some of these other things that you
Okay,
talk
I hate
about,
it.
which is why I don't pay attention to it at all. I'm so oblivious to it for those exact same reasons, because when you drown out the noise, it doesn't make it a perfect society. But for Erica, for a housewife, for anybody who's on reality TV right now, and for anybody who loves reality TV, there's going to be something that's going to be thrown out there. And you're going to get an edit. But the best edit that we can give people is doing what you and I are doing right now, which is what's their background? What's going on? And when you really dive deep and really seeking to understand someone's perspective and what they're going through, the world is a more beautiful place.
It is, and honestly, I think, and I hate to say this, but and I know people are probably gonna throw up in their mouth, and if they do, I hope you choke on it if you don't get, because then you don't get it. But I literally think that I know for a fact, I know for a fact that in the when it comes to the school of empathy and connectivity and humanism, I learned that from my father. Nobody did that better than he did. Nobody. And that kind of, I was actually talking to my husband about this, that like maybe like engaging in that level of empathy and unconditional regard is kind of on not on brand in the society that we live in, but I choose to do it anyway. And I'm going to say, it's not to say that I don't have my moments, because I can definitely go there if invited to the party, but that is not the default. And why is that so? Not only because, of what my father taught me, but I also think growing up and not being isolated, not being liked, being quite a loner, people not getting me, and judging on sight. Well, I've just chosen to do the opposite. And guess what? Now I've got too many friends. I got way too many. I'm trying to give some of them back. Like literally trying to give some of them back. Like, it spreads from all different places.
How about that? We'll
But you know
switch.
why?
I'll
You
take
know
some
why?
of your friends, you take some of mine, and we'll figure it out.
But you know why?
Because,
Because because I just like people. And
right.
I might like people on different levels. There's some that I have abiding relationships with, like you, and then there's some people that I just know, but I'm super interested in them, and I'm gonna always make them feel like they're the most important person in the room, because they are the most important person in the room when I'm talking to them, you know? So, and I wonder if we all like try to practice that in our lives, at least maybe once a week, how much better our lives would be. I'm talking down to the cashier who's running your stuff at CVS and giving you your CVS rewards over here off of Ventura, which I love that CVS, by the way. You know, like, how are you doing? How's your day? How are you feeling about all the eyeliner being locked up? Doesn't that really suck? Like helping
I
people, like
love
help
this.
one person be seen a week, and then make it a day, and then make it in most of your interactions, your life will get better. And do that
Changes
without
everything.
judging. And that's what people don't do for Erica, but that's what Tom did for Erica. He helped her to be seen
And
and
he,
and valued, which is why, you know, the devastation probably, I'm assuming, hurt so badly, because wait, you were supposed to be my safe space. I
mhm.
married you. He proposed. So cute how they got married. It wasn't a big wedding. He proposed to her. They had a
Didn't they go to Vegas for a dinner afterwards?
yeah, I think they had like to go back to my specific events, that they had a quick like oh shoot, let me look it up. They
They
had
had they had a quick like little ceremony, and then they, like most people would think, oh, they'd have this reception. No, they went to Vegas to
yeah,
have a dinner afterwards,
yeah.
which I like. It was so intimate between the two of them,
So
and I'm
cute.
like, that's beautiful
Cute, yeah.
because, like, guys, good for you. Like, Thank you, but
My
we're gonna
husband,
move
what
on.
we should have just got married at a courthouse and taken a private jet somewhere for dinner instead of the big wedding.
Excuse me, you can always renew your vows, and if you need witnesses, you're
Let's do
welcome.
it. No, my wedding was my dad's swan song, and I stand by that. But, that just even how they got married was so amazing,
Yeah.
and then in that space, loved him so much that she put her own life on hold, her own dreams and aspirations on hold to be in Tom's world, to be Miss Girardi, to do all the things that Mr. Artie is supposed to do when you're married to a high profile attorney, to renovate that house, that big mansion that she lived in. And I thought it was super sweet and humble and a testament to how Tom was at the time, that when she says when she moved into the house, it was empty, it was bare. There was like really nothing there. She moved in, um, uh, I think it was like 6 months of them dating, 6 or 9 months of them dating, with her two trash bags and a Toyota Celica or a little car. And slept in separate rooms in this big mansion. She said nothing was there. We literally had nothing. And so by the time they got married, she took ownership of decorating that house that we see on the show. She took ownership of all that. And when all of that was done and her son was raised, okay, now what is it about me? Let me get into the Erika Jayne of it all. And
Same.
that's when Erika Jayne was born. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about. That's when it was all born. Little fun fact, EJ Global, the company that's under most scrutiny right now, was named and inspired by the manager. I forgot his name. I just know he was a really sexy guy with the eye patch over his eye. That's how she describes it in the book. Uh, told her she didn't belong. He asked her, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "You don't belong here." And he basically, admonished her, "Whatever you do, get out of here and go global." And so that's where EJ Global came from, to go global.
Ah,
So, yeah,
I'm
you know what?
processing you.
Processing all of this, and I'm gonna say, you know what? She's a boss. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. She's a boss. Everything that she's been through from a child up until this point that we've covered, and how she's navigated life and motherhood and the Mr. Rarity of it all, and even the Mr. Rarity after it all, which ain't fun.
And guess what, Elle?
She's still
She's
here. She's still
still
standing.
standing. She's
We
still
just said the same
standing.
thing. I just said that. She's still standing. She's still standing. Yeah.
So, you know, you can either love to hate her or hate to love her. Whatever it is,
Or you could
I
turn the
think
TV off like Kendrick said and not
ri-
worry about it and go on about
right.
your lives.
But I think until you fully understand what someone's been through and you don't just listen to the bad edits that people are giving you, you're not going to understand someone. I really think you need to give the good edit.
That notebook.
Okay. I'm sorry. You need to give them the good edits because I really think I understand a lot of people in this world when I give them the good edits and I give it to them multiple times. After a few times, you know how to turn it off. But at the same time, I think it's powerful to look at the layers and the pages that people have, right? You
That's how
can't
much
just
I
believe.
believe it. I'm gonna go on record and say, and I was very trepidatious about going on record to say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and go on record and say it,
Do
that
it.
I believe in her story. I believe
Okay.
in her story, and I believe in her story because, um, there's human fragility there,
Yep.
the disappointment there are human experiences that she went through that I think if anybody went through, they would probably react the same way. The thing is that we're not on a reality TV show, and I think she's been as honest as she could. And this is coming from a person that has a very good IQ about people
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
and a
You're welcome.
very good
No, I'm
IQ.
just kidding.
Sorry, mom, I gotta say it. Sorry. I have a very good bullshit meter, you know?
I actually, can I say this? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this on camera.
Say it.
I actually agree with that because you call me out on my shit. The very few times I've tried, you're like, tell me how you really feel. And I'm like, oh, she
Well,
sniffed that out.
Well,
So I agree.
one of the advantages, and then we're gonna go ahead and end it, but one of the advantages that I think growing up kind of a little bit isolated from peers is that I had the opportunity to sit back and watch a lot of things.
Okay.
And watch a lot of contradictions and watch how people move. And it adds to a social IQ that I think that's not always perfect, but I think it's pretty seasoned to be able to say, that sounds right. That ain't right." And be very predictive about people's motives and intentions with a fair level of accuracy to some extent, because I've learned to observe people. And one thing we know about is human interaction is very predictable and it's very patternistic. Like, it doesn't really change. You know, I think that Erica is reacting to this situation that she's been put in as any other woman, albeit Bernie Madoff's wife, and the countless of other scores of women who have been the victim of financial deception and malfeasance, the same way that they would have. The only difference is that, now she's a bit younger than them, and she's drop dead, scary gorgeous, and those 2 things can't coexist.
Oh, and can I just tell you this
Vulner
part? I'm gonna
Vulnerability
throw
and
this one part
huh?
out.
Huh?
She speaks her mind
And she speaks her mind.
unapologetically. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. She's
yeah.
not censored. She's not silenced.
Love it.
You throw all that in.
Yeah. So there
Okay.
you have it, folks. So now we know about the Tom 1.0 and the Tom 2.0 of it all, and Jonathan, who set the stage. And I mean, we don't know about the other ones in between, but you know what? The point is that we know that somewhere in this journey, uh, she knew love mattered and pursued love not once but twice. And for what it's worth, I think I get the feeling she still has love for the man by the conversation she had with Sutton, but you can understand why she's so devastated. She had all her trust eggs in one basket, and I believe he started off well, but something happened, whether it's greed, something happened where he just didn't do the right thing. And now she's
And
holding the bag.
FYI, I
I don't know how else to say it, huh?
I've been in relationships where that exact thing has happened. You cannot control what another person does, and people just assume that you know what another person does. And it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know your credit score. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. It doesn't make you naive. It just goes,
It makes you in love.
yes.
It
So
makes
where,
you in love.
like, forgetting that whole point. But anyway, we could go on this for hours. So anyway,
So I'm
Happy
so
New Year, and I
excited.
love you.
I love you so much too. I'm so excited about our next episode. We have a special
Can't
guest.
wait.
Should I announce it or should I surprise it? I'm gonna
That's
announce it. I
so.
don't care. It's that kind of day
Okay,
today.
you do it.
Yeah. We have David Yontif from Behind the Velvet Rope joining us for our
Yes.
final episode of The Curious Case of Erika Jayne.
Season one.
So, yeah, next week we're going to be talking about the explosive episodes and character arcs that she's had and kind of summing up her whole housewife experience. And maybe even getting into some of the fan reactions of it all or not. This show was really about her, so we're going to leave it at that. We're just going to talk about her experience, and we're going to sum that up, and then we're going to get into our next housewife, who I can't wait to say who we're covering, but I don't want to say it yet. Don't
Elle.
say this. This is not a real dance. But anyways, that's it. Any closing words, my friend? I'm so glad you're back.
I, I'm glad to see you. I just want to say Happy New Year. I love you. In
No,
2026,
I
I
know. I
think
got to
is
get you
going to
your
be
cup.
amazing for all of us. Well, let's just say, let's use the word fabulous here. I think that's what you are. And
I
I'm
think that's
so
what you
glad that you
are.
brought me into your
Would you stop
fabulousness.
that? Like,
Just accept
you
it. I
you know
love
you're
you.
my second husband. I don't know what my first husband is. Oh, he's right there. He's right there.
And by the way, your husband's my second husband too. So
Shut up. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. You can find us on the Good Edit on Instagram at TGE _ the Good Edit, or on
I
YouTube
don't
at the
spell the underscore. It's TGE. underscore the good
TGE
edit.
underscore the good edit,
Yes.
and on YouTube at the good edit dash 25, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Don't forget to check us out for TGE Fridays. We have something exciting coming. Can't wait to talk about it. And we'll see you next time. Love you,
Happy
Chris. Happy
2026.
2026. Bye.
Bye.